Good morning, everyone. Today we're gonna change spark plug wires on a 2013 Chevrolet 2500 HD. Now, this is a job I've never done before, and just to give you a heads up, I am not a mechanic at all. So this is just an amateur trying to do something with this truck and make it run better. Now you might be able to see, here's a wire, here's a wire, another one right here, and then the other one is underneath these hoses there. We will do our best to try to get to the plugs, and the plugs are down here. They've got like a metal shielding around there, and we've got to be able to get that off too. So let's see what we can accomplish here, and we'll start on this front one. It's a little difficult to get to. I'm not the tallest guy in the world, so it looks like we're going to have a little help, like a pair of channel locks, maybe even a pair of vice grips. Let me put the camera down here for a second. The inside of this motor is pretty dirty. This truck has 150,000 miles on it. May not be very successful here. Kind of crunching up the metal, trying to get it out. Gotta be an easier way. Okay, ran into some difficulty trying to get this off. This bugger did not want to come. So as you can see, my pliers kind of bent up the shield. Maybe we can kind of roundy and make it all a little bit better. Then this cable comes out of there, just like that. Now we can try to bend that, get it back. Not too bad, but that's the trouble we gotta go through to try to get the rest of them out. I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, as you can see, these are the wires and the metal guards, shrouds, or whatever you want to call them, off of the passenger side. Now what we're going to do, we're going to get to the spark plugs. 5/8 spark plug socket will do. 3/8 drive and about a 6-inch extension should do it. And I'll come back in a minute. Okay, as you can see, hopefully I'm in here with the 3/8 drive ratchet, the 5/8 spark plug socket, and they are pretty tight, so you have to be extremely careful. Can be a knuckle buster up inside here. So that's what we're doing right now. We'll try to get this one out, and then when we start the new one, we will put a little anti-seize on the threads, and then make sure you start it by hand, because you don't want to get anything cross-threaded as you're putting it in. If you can get a good look at that spark plug, the electrode is gone. It is gone. It's time. 150,000 miles. Let's dig out the replacement. Do a side by side. See, you can tell there's no way it has the original gap or anything. So this truck ought to run far and away better once we get these plugs and the wires all on here. So let's get the anti-seize. We'll put a tiny bit on the threads. Be careful not to get anything anywhere else. These plugs come pre-gapped, so try not to drop it and bend this piece here. That'll change the gap of your spark plug. So be extra careful. We'll be back. Okay, see, like I was saying, you don't need a ton of the anti-seize, just a tiny bit to get around there, just so it'll make it easier to get it out when you have to change it again. Okay, got all the plugs on the passenger side changed. Now we're going to put all the wires on, and we got to remember, we got to put our shields back on it too. What we'll do, we'll put a little dielectric grease in here and a tiny bit on this side. That'll hold down any kind of corrosion or anything. And then we'll have to get these back on to each spark plug, and then after we get that passenger side, we'll move on to the driver's side. Okay, as you can see the new wires going down into the plugs. So passenger side is complete. All right, now we're gonna head over and we're gonna do the driver's side. As you can tell over here, it's pretty wide open, so hopefully it'll be a little easier to get these spark plugs out and then back in. Yeah, see what we'll do, come in here, that's one of the wires. You know, back in the old days, you know, the cars had a little round distributor stuck up here, and all the wires were inside of, you know, on top of the distributor cap. They went to all your plugs. And in the old days, you did them one at a time because they weren't necessarily in order around the top of that distributor cap. Nowadays, everything's with the electronic ignition. Everything's pretty simple. Next one, this one, so forth. So a lot easier these days. Okay, I'll get these wires off and plugs out and we'll come back. as you can see where the ratchet is, you have a obstruction, which is your steering column. So I know early on I said you got to use a 6-inch extension. It's best the 3-inch is the longest you'll need. Okay, we're just about, this will be the third one on this side to be done. It's not like you gotta tighten them super tight. I've been using my left hand since I'm right-handed, and that should be plenty. And again, you use a, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a rubber piece inside there that grips your socket, or your spark plug inside your socket, which makes it a lot nicer. You won't drop it, because the last thing you want to do is drop those pre-gap spark plugs. Got one more to do, and then we'll start putting on the wires. Now when you're putting these on, one thing to remember, you should hear a little click or a pop, depending how you want to word it, as you put these on, because it'll like click into place, both ends. When you put this one on the spark plug, when you put this one up on the oh, what do you call them? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't remember what they call those. But those take the place of your distributor, so they're all electronic. But like I said, I'm not a mechanic, so, but I do know a tiny bit of stuff. You got to make sure you hear the click, and everything should be good. Okay, so wires are on, plugs are in, and what I was trying to think of, these are the coils. That's what this other end of the wire clips onto. As you get my age, you forget what stuff is called, and then your kids make fun of you because of it. But anyway, that's the end of this job. I did find some loose screws, like this one here. It's over a heat shield, so I'm gonna tighten them up, make sure they're snug, and then we'll call it a day. Thank you.